Hello guys,
Hello,
my name is Jerry Aiton
I'm Veronica Aiton.
and together we are the
Aitons
Aitons family. Yes, welcome back to this video. If you have not subscribed, kindly go ahead and subscribe, and also remember to give us thumbs up so that YouTube can be able to recommend us to other viewers. Yes.
So thank you very much for those who have subscribed, guys. Also hit the notification bell so
Yes.
that when we upload every video, any video, you will be among the first ones to see it.
Yes.
Yes, kindly. Yes, so on today's topic, we are discussing about parents,
Yes.
the role of parent generally, and we want to compare both the parents, now our parent backward, he's calling them the analog parent, and now the current parent,
Yes.
the digital parent. How different were they
Yes.
in upbringing their children,
yes.
and what role they played, and the role that we are playing right now as the digital parent. Yes, so that's the topic of today in this video. Yes, kindly share with us, comment,
Yes.
tell us how your mother brought you or your father brought you up.
Yes, and let's compare notes.
Yes.
And see how this thing goes. Like I just want to remember growing up, like all of us were assigned work at home, be it in the garden, be it taking care of the cow, be it in the house chores. You see, all of us participated equally. If it was your turn to go to the farm, you go to the farm. If it was your turn to wash clothes, you wash clothes. If it's your turn to wash dishes, you are to wash dishes. And you realize that all this work, regardless, as long as you are able to do the work, your parents did not care whether you are of age or not. So all of us, all genders, both my sisters and my brother, all of us, we were supposed to be doing something. So that one generally I can remember from my growing years. And you?
I mean, yeah, in the previous years, I don't think parent walikuwa na huruma ati because you are maybe your age or something. As long as you can lift that jembe, as early as you are able to lift it, unatumwa uko kwa shamba, hata kama utaenda tu kucheza na mchanga until you learn. I don't know, do you think there were labor division in those times, like there are jobs which were allocated to girls and some allocated to boys?
That one began, according to how I grew up, that one began to happen much later. But before you realize, all of us were being given maybe the work was being divided equally, and you realize it was being done in turns. Maybe you are the one who washed clothes last weekend. Now it's another person's turn. And you realize as we kept on growing up, you realize now, like on our side, my mother now began to make sure that there was labor division, whereby boys were concerned more in the farm. They were concerned more with helping in doing the heavy work, and girls now were left maybe with doing like something like cooking, washing, just doing the light things around the house. Yes.
Okay. So I have asked about labor division because sometimes it can be an what it
Argumentative.
can be, yes, topic. Because there are some, but I guess it depends with where you are raised, because there are people who don't know how to farm at all. As much as they were raised by those parents, hawa kitambo, but hawajui kulima or anything, simply because those were not tasked to girls according to their home,
Yes.
or their, maybe where the region where they came from. So also in my place, I saw us being given, as long as we were, I don't think there was so much of labor division. It's only that when maybe boys graduate to, maybe as they are continuing growing, there are things they cannot do, like washing utensils, washing the house or something, but those come with age. But as long as you could do something in those early ages, I don't think there were chores for girls and boys. I guess the division came automatic, not that at the ilikuwa this and this and this is not supposed to be done by boys. Yes, me, that's what I can say about labor division.
And do you think, like, because even in yesteryears, you realize parents used to get many children, and do you want to tell me that it was a source of cheap labor? Could it mean a source of cheap labor? Because I also read in GHC, what you now call social studies, that parents got many children. They saw it as a source of labor. It was a source of wealth, source of labor, and everything. So, would it necessarily mean a source of labor? Because we used to really work.
I mean, yes, I guess, those the hours as wakitambo, they didn't value impacting their children so much in terms of education, or maybe empowering them in other way. So mtoto, the only way they could tame them, it's by giving them those makazi.
Yes.
Ndio mtoto asipate time ya kwenda kuzurura, kufanya vitu, kuwa idol or something. So they saw it as source of the way the labor or wealth, when they, for example, girls mature up, they wanafika place wanaweza olewa, they get married, those issues of dowry and everything. So yeah, it can be that they got many children to be helped. Yes.
And I see, like, the way you have brought up a very important issue of schooling. Like, during those times, most of the generation maybe before us could not even go to school. Why? Because they were working. They were either helping their father with herding. They were helping in the home with digging, especially maybe during plowing season. They were not going to school so that they could help. And parents saw that one was so important, and it was the only thing they were trying to do. So school was not the only thing that these people, that the children or we could do. We realized even before going to school, you could wake up as early as even 5:30 or around 4 and start working, milk the cows, take milk to the dairy and everything. And even after work, you realize, after school, you realize, like, you have to come home and work.
I feel they didn't value education. They were not even aware how it can help you. They didn't know the benefit. Then they are the same parent, the next generation after, hao wenye hawajaona the need for education,
Yes.
the next one ndio sasa nao walianza kuona education is important. Sasa hao nao wakaanza kutumia education as if they're investing to their children,
Yes.
that these children will return the favor, you know, of which
Yes,
is not
yes.
supposed to be like that. So you find those parents, they wanakusomesha kabisa, hawana shida, but they expect some returns from you, you know. So I guess all those generation had their own ways of understanding things.
Yes.
The same with parents of nowadays. They, because right now you realize parents now have started now knowing that it's not a must to invest in this kid education to receive anything or to benefit from it. You are basically empowering them. You are giving them their right, you know, because they're entitled to education.
Yeah, sure,
and
sure.
a good education.
Yeah.
So
It's their right.
when you give them, it's not like you are doing them a favor. You are giving them their right. It's like providing for them food, those basic needs. Imagine, it's not like when you give them, you're not doing them any favor.
Yeah.
It's their right. And if you deny them that, you can be sued.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes, because every child, all children are entitled to those things until they reach adulthood.
Yes.
So sometimes nasikianga kwa news, maybe a parent killed a child because maybe of food, because maybe the child ate what they were not supposed to eat, or the parent beat the child to death because of something, maybe, you know. And when you sit down and internalize all that, I wonder, does that parent know that whatever that kid is doing is their right?
Yes.
And whenever unafanya hivyo, maybe mtoto, when you go to court, I assume, I don't know much of it, but I assume when they go to court, the first thing they need to be explained to or to be asked is, do you know you are supposed to provide food, enough food for this baby?
Those are basic rights.
Yeah, basic rights.
Fundamental.
And those are not arguable. You cannot argue about them. As long as you're bringing this child to this world, just be ready to provide until afike 18.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's a twist to that, and I really like it. Like the way the past generation, like of parents, you realize there were those ones who believed that if they had many children, they would be wealthy because of the issue of labor, like cheap labor. Get cheap labor because they are these children they are giving birth to are the ones who are working, so they don't have to hire anyone else to come and help them. And when these children grow up, they will support also the family. You realize the girls, when they get married, the father will receive dowry, and that one means more wealth. If they are herders, you realize it means more cows and everything, or more goats, or whatever different communities use for dowry payment. And now there's this other one. Now that one believes education is the key to a good life, and they believe that if they take this one to school, this one will get a job, they'll be able to help support them and also support the other children they are maybe still continuously getting. And it has shifted to not going to school to work at home, to now going to school so that you can support. And I don't you think these were like kind of double standards in both scenarios? After going to school, you now have to, before you are taking the burden of making sure you're working for the family. Now you have to continue working for the family after you have cleared your education. When you get a job, you realize everyone in this family, including the community and the clan, they also depend, they now began much from you. Don't you think they were like double standards, but things were just happening differently?
Yeah, they were happening differently.
Mhm.
But I guess the reason, the cause of that is because, you know, this parent you're talking about, maybe those herders and this generation of parents who took they started understanding about education.
Yes.
Uh, those are two different generations in terms of understanding.
Yes.
So that's why maybe it may seem too standard, but they have two different understanding of these things. So the way this one would reason, because you realize this parent, where now they started understanding about education, it's where we are saying that they take their children to school, they pay up to university. Even if there is no money, they will struggle, they will look for it, do harambes, everything
Yes.
to raise the money to take these children to school. Necessarily, they were those now parents who understood education, they started empowering boy child more than the girl child.
Wow.
So you realize they will pay for this boy until maybe university, up to any level. Now he's expected to come back and start empowering these children, you know. So those are also the parents who expect, if you're taken to school to do engineering, you should never get any other job apart from that. Yani, you realize nowadays you can do engineering, but you find yourself in different areas.
Yes.
Because maybe of how things are, maybe you didn't get the job, that job immediately. You explore different areas and you realize, actually, this is not my route, I could take this one. So, and that those parents don't have any problem, as much as long as you're able to take care of yourself, you're able to survive, you know. But those parents, as long as you're going to do engineering, law, doctor, anything, IT, nini, they want you to be in an office doing that. And they didn't understand, why should we waste our money? Then unatuambia wewe ni YouTube whatever, ama wewe
content
ni
creator,
you know. They didn't understand such things. But you realize parent wa saizi,
yes,
they have started understanding things, that the world has changed, things have changed, things can be done differently, you know. So I guess about the double standards you're asking about, I think it's the understanding between those two generations. Yes.
And don't you think that's whereby, like, the gender role was it really played much on gender role, showing that this one is supposed to be done by men, this one is supposed to be done by women. You realize there is that gender segregation, separation there. Two genders, there's a separation of things. Boys are supposed to go to school, girls are supposed to remain at home. After all, they will get married. You see,
they didn't understand why girls should be
also get education or be empowered.
They only knew the place of a woman,
yes,
is at home. After all, why should we empower you and you will not remain in this family? You will go to other family. So they wanted the whatever, the empowerment, like for boys, they know they will remain to the family. So it's it's a benefit to the family compared to a lady being empowered.
So you see, for me, I'm trying to think out loud. It was like an exporting of foolishness, because you see, these boys, they will also marry from another family that thinks the same, that we don't have to empower our we don't have to send our daughters to schools, you don't have to empower them maybe academically. So you realize these men end up marrying
the ladies who are not
empowered.
And from now, those men who have been empowered,
yes,
their children, they start seeing the benefit of empowering both genders.
Yes.
Now that's where we are as that generation, because as you as a man, you're educated, your wife is not educated. So they would want, they started understanding that we can empower our
Both.
girls,
Yes.
So that's why I guess this empowerment of girl child empowerment
the campaign
started.
begins. Yes. And guys, you see why it's very important for us to make sure that all the children are empowered. As parents, you should not say that because this one is a lesser gender, this one is a woman, female, and this one is male, so I'm going to empower male. Male will remain here and girls will get married. What if they don't get married? Okay, before we jump on the how things are being done in this current generation, on the issue of inheritance, recently my dad like was trying to share the little he has to us, but my surprise, I realized he did not share it to my sisters in whatever means. Why? Because the culture says the girl will get married, so they don't have to get anything in the family. Don't you think even that one contributed to that?
Yeah, of course. Inheritance, when it comes to now the generation we are talking about, they didn't value education at all. They don't understand why should a lady be given. They expect as long as you're of age, you should have come out of this house, of their house, and go get married, where your husband will be given inheritance, you inherit. That was their reasoning compared to saizi, because right now, you realize parents would want to leave something to their girls, even if they are married. Yeah, they're okay. Maybe they can be given something small than the boys, but at least they have been given something,
yeah.
So I guess when it comes to inheritance, those parents didn't understand at all. Why should you give you the same thing? It brings us back to the place where we are saying those parents didn't value about women, they didn't understand why should the girls be given. They will remove this wealth from this family and take it somewhere else. Whereas they should be the one to bring this wealth so that we can have something to leave to their brothers.
Yes.
So kitambo mambo na inheritance for women and girl child, it's not something which was valued. Yes.
And I think all this sums it up to like women were supposed to be men's properties, something like that, of which again it is not a good thing. It's very important. Let all of us have our own opinions. Yes. Now we jump into now the current parenting. How are things different from those days?
Hey, things are so much. So unajua sisi ni wale watu wenye we have been brought up with parents who at least they know there is internet. They know there is WhatsApp. My dad sometimes the first time I saw him texting WhatsApp, I was like, hey, mpaka wewe imekufikia, know, because you did something you didn't expect. But it's very different saizi compared to how maybe their parents were.
Yes.
And it's going to be different from us
even
to
in
our
coming
children,
years.
Because things are continually changing. To the way you left the world today, by tomorrow it will have gone somewhere else, because of everything, the internet, the exposure people have and everything. So right now, things are way so much different. Alafu kitambo, wazazi walikuwa wakali. Saizi, unaona hata kama ni mtoto, they expect you to sit them down and explain them. Hata kama unawachapa.
Why are you
beating me?
Yes.
Kitambo hata huku unasikizwa. Before hata ufungue mdomo wanachapwa. So kitambo pia parent, kwa comparing wazazi wa hiyo kitambo na saa hii, parent were not so open to their children. You realize saa hizi people can easily talk with their children about sex and issues about boyfriend and everything. Kitambo you couldn't hear such. So saa hii digital parent are so much different, so way much different. I guess hata how wazazi wenye maybe they have already gone ahead of us, wakaweza tu ufufuka, wanashindwa huku ni wapi tuko, are we in another planet or something, you know, because things have really changed. Yes.
And we have seen so many girls going to school. We have seen even parents leaving inheritance even for their girls. And we are seeing a lot of things. People have, there's that human rights awareness. People are more aware of their rights, and it's a good thing. And currently you realize, because we have a mixed generation kind of, there are people who maybe are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even 100. They are saying like in their days, you could not see ABCD. Wanasema like wazazi wa siku hizi wamepatia watoto wao much freedom. Like children of nowadays can do whatever they want to do. They don't respect anybody. How true is that?
I mean, it can be true at some point. And also how you hear them saying that maybe you have given these children a lot of freedom. It can have its advantages and disadvantages. Because when you come to think of it, kitambo, you couldn't have maybe, you couldn't have just do it. You don't just do anything when your parents are around. But saa hizi, for example, when you compare kitambo na saa hizi, in terms of maybe even the TV shows that nowadays are there, kitambo hakukuwa na hiyo exposure maybe pia because ya hizo programs or everything. But I remember when we were growing up, even the programs, easy like romantics, vipindis, they used to come usiku kabisa, time yenye wanajua watoto wamelala.
Yes.
But saa hizi una realize as early as 6 or 5, those hii ni kwa hizi free to air station, but kwa DSTV throughout, as long as hizo stations iko, unapata kuna station specifically ya hizo soaps, kuna ingine ya movies specifically, so they are so much exposed. And also wazazi wa hiyo time walikuwa wanakaa home sana, maybe most of them, ama wakienda ni kwa shamba tu. Una realize mzazi wa saizi ako so much occupied looking for money and everything, so anatoka mapema anarudi late, so hana time na huyu mtoto, hajui what the child has been up to the whole day. So you realize pia wakati wa kudiscipline huyu mtoto compared to hiyo time zingine, it's becoming less and less, because you really want to give them good life, and also you're so busy, that's why unasahau about their character, who they are becoming, because most of the time, even when children indulge in this dangerous stuff, maybe they started drugs and everything, most of the parents don't realize immediately, because they lost the track of the character of my son or my daughter. So hizo vitu zote zimechangia sana. When there is too much of something like that freedom, it will be poisonous, it will be dangerous. So what I always, when I talk with parents, they try to balance. Yes, you are busy, try to find time with your children. Ile siku unajua hauko job, purpose. Yes, you can be tired, but purpose. That 1 hour, those 2 hours, put everything away and concentrate with these children, for the sake of don't usitafute sana, then when unatafutia anakuja kukusumbua later. It means you are doing nothing. But when you are looking for that money and you're mindful of who you are looking it for, you're impacting good things in his life or her life. One day you will have confidence. You will be proud to say, that's my son. I raised them well. Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much also for your insight. All we are trying to say, it's your responsibility as a parent to build your children life skills, be it respect, be it discipline and values. It is your responsibility. It's your responsibility also to send them to school. It's your responsibility to take care of them and show them the way. I think that has been it. We have come to the end of today's show. If this content is impacting your life, kindly give us the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. And you can press the notification bell so that every time you're uploading these videos, you are the first one to watch. Thank you so much. I think that is it.
Yeah.
Yes. Until the next one, bye-bye.